Hello everyone, I'm Chris Distel, and today we're going to be doing part 2 of Situational Awareness. We're going to dive in and talk pretty in depth about the Cooper's Color Code. No, I'm just kidding, it's Tim. That's a good Distel impression, I'm just saying. Watch and enjoy, everybody. You just might learn something.
Those color codes are white, yellow, orange, and red. White is completely oblivious to my surroundings. So it's kind of interesting to know that being oblivious is actually a level of situational awareness, right? We're trying to distinguish between the two, but being oblivious is a level of situational awareness. Not a good one, but it is one according to Jeff Cooper. Yellow is just being situationally aware at all times, but you're still relaxed. You understand your environment because you have built a baseline that allows you to be relaxed and understand when an anomaly appears, right? And then that would bump me to condition orange. So I'm out to dinner with my family, Tim. We're sitting there. I've been to this place 100 times. It's summertime. It's 104 degrees outside. And that quintessential guy in the trench coat walks through the front door wearing all black. And well, first and foremost, I know it's 104 degrees outside, and why would anyone want to wear that on this hot of a day, right?
Freak.
And so that sets off a cue because that's not normal. It's outside the baseline, outside
Absolutely.
the norm, right? And now, not to mention, I've been to this place 100 times, and I've never seen anyone walk in here in a trench coat for any reason whatsoever. Not saying he's up to any harm at this point, but it's spiked my curiosity, right? And now I've kind of transitioned from that yellow level of situational awareness into orange. And orange is a more heightened state of situational awareness where essentially I start paying more attention to a potential threat that I've identified. And now I start building a plan to act if I have to act based on the situation that presents itself as this situation evolves, right? And so do I know the exits? Am I going to get my family out the back door? Are we going to go out the front door? Am I screwed and I'm caught in the corner? I'm just going to have to fight. If I'm going to fight, how am I going to fight? Am I a concealed carry owner? Is anyone else in the place concealed carry? What if first responders show up, right? And so all these types of thoughts should start going through my mind in that orange state of situational awareness. And then finally, the guy pulls a gun out from under his trench coat. We transition into color code red, and that's where we get to work. And I enact my plan, whether that was getting my family out, whether that was fighting, whatever the case may be.
When we go red, sometimes you lose some of your situational awareness when you go red because now you are honed in on something. You're focused and you are acting on a threat. But what happens is you lose sight of what's going on back here. You can't fool yourself to think that you're always going to be aware because when that condition red happens, man, you're acting, you're on it, you're taking care of the threat.
Couldn't agree more, Tim. I mean, the military even has taken it a step further in most places, added a condition black to Mr. Cooper's color code. And that black is, we see people that have a plan or they didn't have a plan, and then a situation occurs that would have pushed them into red, but because they didn't have a plan, because they never got into that yellow or orange state of situational awareness, now they skipped red and they went straight to black because they had no plan. And next thing you know, I'm just sitting there on my knees allowing someone to execute me because I didn't have a plan and I wasn't ready and I froze and now it's over, right? And that is the benefit of being situationally aware, not allowing myself to ever get to that state of awareness where I've frozen and I can't control my own bodily function.
Time buys you options, and options buy you time. If you have time, you have options. If you don't have time, you have very little options.
I would give an example of that as I show up to a restaurant. I just ask the waitress, do you care to put us in a corner booth or a corner table or at least a table not right next to the door so that I can see the door? That allows me to see potential threats come through the front door and give me time to make decisions and give me time to respond to a threat as it approaches, right? Rather than me sitting right next to the door with my back to it, and now someone walks straight in and I'm the first customer of whatever pain train they're bringing, right? I'm their first customer because I'm right next to the door. And this could apply to anything.
And I want you to talk a little bit about how you're going to use B&E Security Consulting to help people in their personal home to be more situationally aware.
The business model and the concept was real simple, Tim. Help folks be more secure in their own home. There's some data that would tell you that 40% of folks don't even employ any type of security measures in their homes, let alone in their day-to-day lives, right? We want to get out, we want to meet folks, we want to give classes, we want to teach people, we want to come to your home, help you understand how to better secure it. By the way, we don't install security systems, we don't sell security systems. I don't get any kickbacks from any companies. I try to remain unbiased so that I can tell each individual family what is best for them, right? And I think that's...
Oh, you mean you actually care about your customers.
Right, that's the value we bring, right? You got to pay an intermediary to come out and help you rather than just calling security company X. They'll send a consultant to your house, but they're only going to sell you their products, obviously, right? And that may not be what's best for you. Because we're actually in the process of starting some training courses up, and we're developing those now. That class is exactly what we've been talking about here. Obviously in a longer format, a little more formal, and it's basically to give folks...
You mean nobody's going to be making fun of you?
That's exactly right, yeah. And so if there's any business owners out there looking for some training for their employees, you want to throw them a bone, you need to fill a gap in annual training hours, whatever the case may be, please reach out. We'd love to help you out. That's what we're here for. We're here to help the local community become more safe.
He cares about your family, and this guy will go out of his way to make sure that everything you need is accomplished. One way or another, he's going to find a way to make it happen. How do you prepare to be situationally aware?
In your home, on the refrigerator, is there a sheet of phone numbers hanging with 911, your address to your house? A plan can be that simple. I've got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. Every day we talk about 5 minutes or so. We talk about what happens if today dad's watching us, mom's at work, and dad falls over and he's unconscious. How are they going to help me? What are they going to do to help themselves? It's real simple. Go to the refrigerator, look at the phone numbers, knows our address. I wrote it on the paper though, just in case she's stressed out and can't remember our address.
We're trying to prevent condition black.
Exactly right? And she knows how to dial 911. We practice it every day. Oops, we accidentally call them every now and then. No problem. Just when they answer, tell them what you're doing. Trust me, first responders want you practicing that stuff too.
Yes, they do.
Right? And so that's a part of a plan. A plan can be that simple. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate, and you don't have to spend weeks and months and draw up a whole training curriculum for your family. It doesn't have to be like that, Tim.
This is very important for everybody, from a 5-year-old to a 50-year-old to a 100-year-old person. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your social economic class. It does not matter. You need to understand what is going on around you and what you're going to do when those things change, which now we need to address. How do you, in those moments, address those changes? It comes from that pre-planning. It's called training, people. Well, I'm not a law enforcement officer and I'm not in the military, so I don't have to train. Look here, Kat, if you, per se, carry a firearm, do you dry fire practice with it? Do you practice taking your draw? Do you practice that? A lot of people don't. Just find a place that's safe, where you're following all the normal firearms protocols. Man, you can buy a dummy gun that fits in your holster. Safety, guys, so important.
Have a backup plan to your backup plan. And again, it doesn't have to be elaborate. Don't assume anything, right? Don't assume you're going to respond any certain way to any given situation. Even if we back it up a little bit and we get back to the medical emergency that happens in your home, don't assume that even your 40-year-old wife is going to remember your address when she's facing her life partner she's been with since high school, laying on the floor, unconscious, not breathing, turning blue, and she's on the phone with your local dispatch, and she can't remember your address because she didn't prepare in advance, right? So again, she can run to the refrigerator and read the address right off the paper that's hanging on the refrigerator. It's not just for my 5-6-year-old daughter.
How can you practice situational awareness?
Simple little games you play on a road trip, for example, the letters game. Everybody starts with A, right?
Yeah.
And we're driving and I'm looking for something that starts with the letter A, and I call it out.
Yeah.
And then I move on to B and C and D all the way to Z, right? And whoever can get from A to Z first, they win.
Absolutely.
Right? And so what did I do? I made something fun. We're bored anyway. We're driving 14 hours on family vacation. Dad's probably mad because he's listening to everybody complain, right? And so I've livened it up. I've distracted everyone.
Yeah.
And they don't even know I'm teaching them to be more situationally aware and pay attention to what's going on around them, right?
I want to talk a little bit about how your personal health has a great deal of an effect on your situational awareness. So how does that come into play?
Your physical fitness and your health and welfare is going to be critical to optimizing your performance in that situation. If you're not healthy,
man. Did you have tickets to the gun show?
No, I don't. You have to get me some. So, but the fact of the matter is, the healthier you are, the better you're going to perform. If I got to walk 5 miles to get help for my family because it's 5 degrees outside and they're stranded on the side of the highway, I'm going to walk it. But if I can run it, then I'm going to run it. If I can sprint it, then I'm going to sprint it, right? And so depending on my personal physical fitness in that specific scenario will depend on how quickly I can get help for my family.
Make sure you take care of yourself. Have a decent, healthy diet plan. Make sure you're drinking lots of water. And make sure that you try your best to have a plan and work your plan. That's the simple, common sense way that you can think about situational awareness. This is so important because right now we live in a society that this is how we're living. I like to do this. This is fun. But it's really about you and your safety.
It's been a blessing, and I really enjoyed it. I appreciate you having me. And I would tell anyone watching Tim's videos that stay tuned because I know him. I've known him for 10 years or more, and when he gets something in his heart and on his mind, he's going to go full bore and he's going to bring it, right? And that's his personality. Thank you again. If you need help, B&E Security would love to help. 937-848-0780. Talk to everybody later. It's been great. Stay safe.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Help us to grow. Make sure you like. And guys, tell us some things in the comments about things that have happened to you and yours. Right training is key. Performance is the result.